Biden may need to get back to hiding. He didn't have a good week. Special counsel released a report saying that he is in cognitive decline. It obviously showed up in a press conference this week and consistent with what dementia tends to be. He's all twisted, he's aggravated, he's pissed off, he's firing back, he's snapping at reporters. Obviously consistent with this whole special counsel report. Fox got into it, and we're going to get into it right now. So let's get to that video, and we're going to analyze it together. Here we go.
Joining us now, former federal prosecutor Katie Cherkasky, America First legal vice president. He's Gene Hamilton. Katie, first to you. The White House today making things much worse, doing damage control on the president's catastrophically bad press conference last night. Katie, he was yelling at reporters. But Katie, what do you make of these new reports coming in? The White House counsel office is bullying and demanding special counsel Robert Hur revise and take out from his report his assessment of President Biden's cognitive decline. What do you think?
Well, I think that the White House wants it both ways. Essentially, Hur's commentary on Biden's faculties was the sole justification for why he did not proceed with an indictment. Because on the facts and on the evidence, there's certainly enough to proceed with indicting him for wrongful retention of classified materials. The justification for not proceeding with that was based, again, on his lack of mental faculties, which Hur suggested would lead to problems securing a conviction. Now, that is arguable, in my opinion, but certainly that was the bone that he threw them. So I don't know exactly what they're looking for. I guess both.
So Robert Hur was the special counsel assigned to interviewing Biden, and took place over some 5 hours. And all he can go on is what he can go on, what he has in front of him. And I believe it was like over a couple of days he might have done this. And so he articulated his impressions of Biden in this meeting. Now, the whole thing that I always say is be consistent. Left, right, be consistent. If this was Trump, this would be nonstop, 24/7 legacy media, top of the hour, bottom of the hour, and all points in the middle. So some of the legacy media is ignoring it or rationalizing it away, and others just can't. CNN of all gangs are coming to the table to point out the obvious. I mean, really. So it wasn't a good week for Biden, so let's keep going.
The thing is, Gene, he's not allowed as vice president or U.S. senator to have U.S. secrets at all. He was blaming his own staff for keeping U.S. secrets in multiple locations, like his basement den, his garage, in open boxes on things like Afghanistan and more. What do you think?
Look, we are in a strange world today in which Donald Trump is being prosecuted for essentially the same exact thing that Joe Biden is alleged to have done here. And the American people can see the pictures for themselves. They see the pictures of the garage with the box that's falling apart, which is supposedly full of classified documents. And just as Katie just articulated, one of the primary reasons why the special counsel didn't recommend going forward with prosecution was because of Joe Biden's mental faculties. And as others have pointed out, if you are in such a bad place as an individual that you cannot be prosecuted for a criminal offense, then how in the world are you properly serving and competently serving as president of the United States?
And so this keeps coming back to my point. Be consistent. Okay, so Biden had these records, classified, top secret, whatever their classification was, in torn boxes, in his garage, not under lock and key, not supervised. And again, the same system of justice went after Trump. They broke down the doors at Mar-a-Lago. They made it a big media spectacle. And whether or not he should or shouldn't have him, maybe at the worst, if he was being a little defiant, he could be charged with, let's say, obstruction. Okay, but he was still the president at the time. And he said, "Oh, I have all these records, and they came back to Mar-a-Lago with me. I didn't know. I'm willing to give them back, whatever." So maybe he'd pick up an obstruction charge, right? At worst. But he was the president, so he's entitled to have documents, classified, unclassified, to some extent. And if he didn't, well, then you turn them back over for record keeping with the U.S. government. But Biden at the time, whether he was a senator or he was the vice president, he wasn't even supposed to have his hands on those things. And then so they said, well, we're not going to prosecute because you're elderly, you're well-meaning, and probably a jury wouldn't stand up in trial, that you're forgetful. He would play the old, Grandpa Joe card, maybe, who knows. But that runs afoul to, well, you could be the president of the United States and still be competent. And this is the big argument right now. So how could it not be? You could see he's in decline. We all can see he's in decline. It's happening. Let's get back to the rest of the video, and I'll continue to broaden out the landscape of this discussion. Here we go.
In addition, I know there's some attention paid to some language in the report about my recollection of events. There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? I take responsibility for not having seen exactly what my staff was doing.
President Biden, something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. It's
How
totally
bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad I let you speak. That's
Do you feel your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine.
Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press.
Why are you confusing the names of world leaders?
I did not share classified information. I did not share it. With your ghostwriter? With my ghostwriter, I did not.
Okay, CNN, Katie's already saying that last comment is false and wrong. He made multiple false statements here. Katie, people are saying America is a place where the president's own DOJ special counsel said he's, as Gene was saying, said he's mentally unfit to be on trial, but not to be president. I mean, House lawmakers are saying special counsel Hur release the full transcript of your interview with the president so Americans can see for themselves. What do you think?
I mean, it's just very circular. Obviously, he's saying that he's fine and his memory is great. Americans have seen otherwise. It's been in our face for quite some time here. And again, the only reason that he's not being indicted, according to her, is because of that very particular issue. And so if he is fit to stand trial, then perhaps he should be indicted. And on the other hand, if we're only to believe part of Hur's report that the prosecution would be inappropriate, but we shouldn't believe the other part about why he can't go to trial, we're really left with absolutely an illogical conclusion here.
Yeah, that's right. So if he's unfit to stand trial, it means he broke the law, Gene. You know, the other thing, too, is this president continues to mislead America, Gene. CNN says he made at least 3 factual errors last night that were not true. He claimed he kept U.S. secrets under lock and key. He did not. He said, quote, none of it was highly classified. That was false. And that he said he did not share classified secrets with his ghostwriter when the special counsel said, yes, he did, Gene.
You know we're living in an alternate reality when you've got CNN calling out the Biden administration, saying that he's wrong on the facts. And Biden, as you could see, went to war with the press corps there. But even in that same meeting, he confused the leader of Egypt and Mexico in that same presser. So it was a bad day for his whole case against that he's not losing his competency or his sharpness or his memory. Right in the same presser, his own conduct after all those questions belied his own statements that he's still cognitively secure. It's just bad. He's having an awful bad week. We just see it unfolding in front of us. So if you go to the booth and you hate Trump that much that you're saying, I'm not going to vote for him, and you're going to go vote for Biden, just think, I work with clients and patients in my own practice that have forms of dementia, have had forms of dementia, past patients I've worked with. It is criminal and it is elder abuse to force somebody to make decisions or have them conduct themselves in high stress environments, having to make big decisions on the day to day. I was in a disagreement with a client who wanted me to explain to her husband about what his package offerings were, and he got to make a financial decision. I don't have that discussion with him. He cognitively can't handle that decision making, and he is just about Biden's age. So it's an abuse. You have to have sound custodians making decisions for people that are in cognitive decline. It's just abuse. So to put him back out on the road or keep him in the White House for a further 4 years, that's just abuse. How do you use your vote to do that? Because you hate Trump that much? And Biden has been slowly declining right in front of our eyes. And if Trump had as many falls as Biden had over the last year or so, they would have been calling for the 25th Amendment that fast to get him out of office. Let's look at some of Biden's latest blunders.
What their cost? 2, 10, 12, 15. Oops, stepping on a. It's black. Anyway.
Again, be consistent. Can you imagine there was that much video evidence of Trump slipping and falling? They would have crucified. They would have called for his head. They would have brought back the Salem witch trial. They would have burned him in the center of the Capitol if that was going on during his presidency. So you got to be consistent, but you're starting to see like CNN. It's hard to hide from these facts anymore. They're saying it's a five-alarm fire. MSNBC obviously is running cover for the Biden administration, but it just seems that MSNBC seems to be the propaganda news arm for the administration. Though some might say that Fox would be the same for the Trump administration or for the Republican Party, even though they have much more balanced news on their side. But again, be consistent. This is the situation you, me, us, we're faced with come November. So when you cast your vote, be responsible. Don't continue to allow the elder abuse to take place, because to send Biden back to the office, listen, it's just an irresponsible thing. It's not good for him as a person, and it's not good for the country as a whole, and it's not good for the United States on the world stage to have a leader, a person that is slipping in this way. You may hate Trump that much, but do you hate yourself that much to put us in harm's way for the next 4 years? That's what you got to decide.